Moji Hunponu Wusu, mother, daughter, wife, CEO of Woodhull Capital International. I think to build um, a foremost financial institution that attracts or there's the foremost landing platform for international investors into Africa. I've set that out. The other goal is to do all these things at the same time as being the most loving wife to my husband and the most dutiful and caring mother to my three lovely children. I will not sacrifice any of the two for the first. Do I have blind spot? My kids. um, I, you know, every time anything has to do with them, that takes precedence, and yeah, they blindside me. My first job, I think I worked in an old people's home one summer. Yes, I worked in an old people's home. I think when I was 17 or 18, somebody suggested that it paid well, and I went along for an interview, and they hired me to work on Saturdays and Sundays. So I worked in an old people's home. That was my first job. Oh, from an old people's home to finance. I think it certainly makes me think I can, I can do whatever I need to do to earn a dignified living. I sleep, and then I spend time with my loved ones. I think that's mostly it. And I read. I try to read at least a few pages before I sleep every night. Integrity. Again, integrity, integrity, integrity. I'm still trying to balance. I'm always juggling one thing or the other. And what I do is I try to, um, I'm honest with my kids that perhaps I'm not going to make all their plays and all their sporting activities. And I tell them why I won't be able to make it. And I'm honest to them about sacrifices that we often have to make. I try as much as possible to spend as much time as I can with them. Some of them are in boarding school, so I try to pray with them every morning, speak to them in the evenings, catch up, find out what they're up to. And certainly when I'm in town, I try to spend as much of the time I have, bonding with them. And with my husband, I try to have a catch up every evening and in the morning. We pray together every morning. Um, and as much as possible, be open with him when I'm struggling with having a balance and making sure I carry him along with all the things that I could be doing that would not make me, meet up with some of the expectations. I think an open culture, but a passionate culture. I think I'm really into passion and authenticity at whatever you do. I could teach you a Yoruba song, right? Um, I don't know. Let me see. Let me try to see a Yoruba song that I would love to teach you. Um, are you going to sing it with me? Are you going to sing it to me? Yes. Okay. Okay. What Yoruba song? I don't know. I'll think of one in a second and I'll sing it to you spontaneously. I sleep. I spend time with my loved ones. There are ups and downs of life, and we all have them. The ups could define your life, how you handle when things are going very well, and the downs could define your life, how you handle when things are very challenging. Actually, you get to know yourself better when you're going through either of those. When things are going very well, you get to know more about yourself, who you really are, how you handle success. And when things are not going well, stuff comes out also. And you get to actually know, what boundaries or what line, where you draw the line in certain things. That's interesting because you see more than you think you know about yourself. We're nimble, and I'll always say this, we're authentically passionate about Africa. I love the fact that I can bring my dynamism into my job every day. I love the fact that it's very no 2 days are the same. I like the fact that you have direct impact into Africa. As I said, I'm passionate about Africa. Three things I don't like. A few days ago, I felt a bit sad because I couldn't attend my son's sporting activity, and another mother had to send me pictures. So that makes me sad. The fact that my job is disruptive to my personal life, that makes me sad. And the fact that I never have enough time to spend with my friends, that makes me sad also. I think my biggest accomplishment is my children. I love them. They're the reason why I'm doing this right now. Um, I think setting up my firm is one of the biggest achievements for me because I set it up out of adversity. I was going through a very tough time. I was very miserable, and then I woke up one day and decided that enough was enough, and I was going to react differently to the problem. And just watching how far we've grown from that one single decision, I think is a huge accomplishment for me. My last, but the first accomplishment is meeting my husband and staying married. I think when you are successful, it can be very difficult, and a lot of people think you have to give up one for the other. And I'm so glad that my husband and I have chosen intentionally to make our marriage the priority over and above career and life accomplishments. Passionate. So we're going through some transformation right now. As I said to a friend earlier, we're going through a digital transformation. We're automating and digitizing the business. And that's interesting because I have to learn about technology. I'm not a tech person. Trying to automate our processes. And that is a huge transformation. Finding new partners, speaking to a different sort of set of stakeholders in business, and trying to ensure that the business is less centered around key people and more centered around the clients. I don't watch TV. But badminton, I play badminton. I like table tennis. I'm not a foodie. Employing Kingsley. How do I have fun? I hang out with my friends. I host. We laugh. We play music. We tease each other. We debate loudly on the dinner table. We're dramatic. And we don't take ourselves too seriously. Oh, I'm always asking for help. I'm not ego driven at all. When I need help, I seek those who genuinely could help me, or I ask anyone. And some people can, some people can't. And I would accept either decision in any way. No, I don't. Sometimes, if I am tired or stressed, I may approach performance or approach the task at hand a little bit differently. But I'm sure that every time I get some rest, I come back reinvigorated and ready to go. No, I'm always authentically myself. Isabel is a swan. I would say she's swan-like. She's composed. John is very loving and very emotional. Annabelle is spunky. Annabelle is spunky. Isabel has the strong resolve. So does Annabelle, but she has a strong, quiet resolve I could have, or I do have. Annabelle has all the colorations of passion that I think I possess. He watches a lot of movies. I don't. We try to play badminton together. Um, I think ideologically, because we grew up together, we've been together for 25 years, above 25 years. Because we grew up together, we are ethically in, aligned. So ideologically, our values, what we think is right or wrong, plus or minus, we are ethically aligned. Ideologically, we share the same ideology in what we see as good and evil. I don't have a favorite parent. I think just knowing that no matter what I'm going through, no matter what I I face that God knows about it. That gives me peace. I think life is a platform that God has given us to come and serve Him. He's given us purpose in this platform, and we come to express servitude to God by work, through family, through career, and through our interactions with our fellow human beings. Right? Again, God knows about everything, and He's in control. He knows exactly what is happening, and His hand is in it in every single way. Self-worth is from within. It has to come from within. And a lot of what goes on within is from your background, your family, and how you grew up, and and what you were made to believe about who you are. And I think that wells up. They say that an apple doesn't fall far from the tree. So your worth, your blossom, who you are, comes from that tree, your background, um, and the voices you heard, the rights and the wrongs. I think that's where you get your worth from. You can't give what you don't have, is my latest favorite saying. My best friend is my husband. Although I told my daughter when she turned 15 that she's now my best friend and confidant. I think at 15 you can start talking to your daughter like a friend. I'm still her mother, but I think we can share, I can share a little bit more. But generically, my husband is my best friend. We've known each other for 27 years. I've just always had a best friend for the last 27 years. We share, as I said, we grew up together. So we share values, ideology together. My female best friend is Bisi Okunola. I've known her since I was in primary school, so I've probably known her all my life. We share the same ideology in friendship, in family, in our views on the world. We both don't take ourselves too seriously, and I just feel warm and I'm selfish or rest assured that she has my back. I hope she does. I know. We share everything. Family, my children see her as their mom. I see her as their mom. Um, I love her children. I love her family. I love everything that she's accomplished. I know she does love my family. We are passionate about the same things. We are on the phone talking about God all day, every day. Our spiritual growth is very paramount to us, and we try as much as possible to push each other to explore growth in our spirituality. I think that's a huge glue in what keeps us together. So we identify on a very deep level each other, and we're very honest to each other, where we just find it difficult to be able to do certain things or to able to even do some right things. We're honest and open to each other that if I'm struggling in this area, um, and she advises me, and so do I. I think it's clear for me as a Christian and as someone who has built a kingdom driven business. My well of strength comes from God. I think sometimes I get extremely overwhelmed. I think the prevailing sort of value system um, in the world, maybe, or in certain situations, I'm a bit concerned about how our kids will grow, what sort of values we're passing on to them. So it causes me a little bit of worry. I worry about it a lot. I worry. I try to, speak to my kids and my children to pass on what I believe are the correct values, values that would lead to a balanced life and a fulfilled life. It's difficult because children want to be popular and they want to do what everyone else is doing, and gently guiding them and not doing necessarily what everyone is doing can be quite challenging. But I'm sure with the support of my husband, we're trying our best to ensure that that's the case. I've reconciled myself to like my past, both in the things I did right and the things that I did wrong. And I think the biggest way to move on is to ensure that I don't repeat any of my past mistakes. I think that's the biggest service I could do to myself. But I've reconciled myself in my past, in the things I did right and the things I didn't do so right. The biggest service I could do to myself, as I said, is not to repeat those mistakes. My children, they give me the greatest hope. Knowing that my husband and I are living an example that they can see, we are trying our best to make sure that they can be very proud of us, both personally and professionally. They have role models that they can look up to authentically. There's hope that there's a generation coming behind, and we have um, been given the privilege to pour into them, to direct them. That fills me with a lot of hope. And I'm sure there are many families like ours who are trying to do the same thing. I think my greatest distraction, I think my greatest distraction, I have to think about that. I think work distracts me sometimes from doing some other non-work things. So work can be quite distracting when I'm not supposed to be working. So trying to draw that line between when you should be working and when you shouldn't be working. I find work to be quite distracting because sometimes I'm trying to spend quality time with my friends and a call comes through and I'm distracted and I'm trying to focus on bonding with friends and then work sometimes comes in and out of that period. I think love is a intentional decision to give, to be, and to do all you can to make another person a better person, to make another person happy. It's intentional, it's deliberate, and it's consistent. The other day I was doing Bible study with my daughter. She calls every morning and we go through. And I don't really remember what I asked her, but we're talking about waiting and waiting on God. And I asked her, what happens when you're waiting for something to happen or waiting for God to answer a particular prayer? And she said to me, when you're waiting, you're vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable, you're spontaneous and impulsive. And I thought that was such a sensible thing. That sometimes when you're waiting for things to happen, you become vulnerable. And when you're vulnerable and you're tired of waiting, you become impulsive. I've never forgotten that. I think I repeated it to so many people during the day. I thought that was so sensible. She was ministering to me, but she didn't know. If I wasn't in finance, I would be a stay-at-home mom. I planned to retire 3 years ago. They had a big party for me. Whatever, I handed over to somebody, and I found myself back. I'll be a stay-at-home mom. I've always wanted to be a stay-at-home mom, to be able to spend more time with my children and my husband. So yes, that's my own dream. Finance is purpose for me, but if I had my own choice, my dream job would be to be a stay-at-home mom. I think I'm fulfilled. I'm fulfilled. I think I'm where God wants me to be. I'm in the right season. I'm in the right process. I'm on the journey, my own peculiar lane and journey. I'm totally fulfilled in where I should be at this particular time. I couldn't want anything more or less, both my ups and my downs. I'm fulfilled. Break the glass ceiling, own the building, own the glass, so the next time you don't have to break it. Then after breaking it, go back and own the building. That's what I have to say. I want my daughters to be proud of me. I want them to be able to walk into offices, banks, companies, and mention that I'm their mother. And I want people to be able to say, you have a very good mother. I want my daughters to see that I paved the way in gold for them, and I want them to be proud of the family and the mother that I am. That I think is my biggest achievement, my biggest accomplishment. For my husband, I want him to be able to look at me and bless the day he met me. For me, if those two things are there, um, I'm extremely happy. For my son to seek and look for a woman like me to love and to love him completely and 100% with all transparency and all authenticity. So my children, I want them to be proud to mention my name in any room in the world and to be proud to wear the badge that Moji Hunponu Wusu is there. I say thank you. Thank you for putting up with me. Thank you for cheering me up. Thank you for putting up with my moods. At least after I ate my amala, my body calmed down a bit. And you are very hardworking, a whole bunch of young people. Um, and you are the reason why we're doing things like this, to showcase Africa, to showcase talent. I don't see any British person here. I see black, strong African workers on a Sunday. That drive, that hunger is something that, whether we take it for granted or not, it doesn't happen in every single country that you can put a whole bunch of people on Sunday all day. I'm proud of you. I'm proud of what you're all achieving in your personal space. And all I can say is keep it up.